Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's been a minute, I know. I've just been super busy and honestly, I was feeling a little lazy, but I'm back and I will be making much more consistent videos. Trying to make them higher quality, right? More about quality than quantity. So yeah, let's hope this is a good step in the right direction. But basically today, what I wanted to talk about is market psychology, right? When you have a trending market, what is sort of the market psychology, the price action around it? You know, what does the price action say about sentiment of all the investors, right? Because essentially what a market is supply and demand. If it goes up, it means more than half of the people are buying. It goes down, it means more than half the people are selling usually, and obviously the quantities in a general sense. But you know, what is the psychology and what does price action say about it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer to 2,000, which is amazing. I didn't even think 1,000 was going to be hit for like a long time, and so 2,000 is coming up, which is exciting. And hit that like button if you gain value from this video. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so we are here at the computer, and yeah, so let's just get right into it. When there is a trend, right, I'm not going to try to draw candles because, well, that would be pretty hard. So we're just going to use lines, same thing. So when there's a trend, right, we see the market's heading up. I'm just going to try to make it look a little bit more accurate, right, and it's a trending market. What does that say about market psychology? Well, overall, we know that there's supply and demand issues, if that makes sense. Overall, people are bullish on whatever this is, right? Just to keep things simple, I'm not going to call this a currency pair or a stock. This is going to be whatever, right? Because it's sort of similar across all financial markets. So we're just going to say this is something, right? It means investors are pretty bullish on it, right? And so it's heading higher, right? Think about when you were bullish on something, you were buying it up, right? Maybe it was Bitcoin, maybe it was a stock, maybe it was a currency, whatever. You were like, okay, I think it's gonna head higher. I am going to buy it because I believe it will continue going up, right? Very simple. And that's what forms trends, right? It pulls back, you know, enough people, again, needs to be over 50%, because if it's exactly equal supply and demand, it's not gonna move. Right, so a little bit more people have to be buying than selling, or there has to be higher volume, let's say, because you know, you could have 100 people selling, but if there's one buyer that's buying up all of what they're selling and even more, it's still going to go up. So it's not necessarily the exact amount of people, but it has to be more volume, not necessarily more people, if that makes sense. So but in general, it is more people, usually, right, overall. There's more people with bullish sentiment if something's going higher. So, with that being said, at the start of a trend, right, I guess let's start there, right, we were usually in a downtrend. I mean, for a trend to start, there had to be something else before it. Either it could have been a consolidation and then a trend forms, or it could have been a downtrend that gets broken, right? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Either way, so what happens? Well, normally when we start seeing a break of highs, right? When we start seeing a break of highs, that makes, you have to think as a whole body of people. Let's say when we were selling, right? We were in this downtrend. People were in that mindset, sell, sell, sell. So on pullbacks, people were looking to hop in. They were looking to capitalize, push it lower, make money, whatever, right? Once that high gets broken, it's a little bit more uneasy, right? You're a little bit unsure. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to go short. And so automatically, once we see new highs broken, a huge chunk of people that were looking to sell whatever it is now backing out a little bit, right? So there's going to be automatically less selling pressure there. And if you were looking to buy it, whatever reason, fundamentally, who knows, whatever reason you wanted to buy it, but it was heading lower, now you're getting more interested. Now, if you were thinking about buying or you're unsure, now you're a little bit more, you know, willing to jump in, or at least look at potentially jumping in for a long. So this automatically shifts the supply and demand to where now people are this group of people are less hesitant to sell, and then this group of people are now more willing to buy it, or at least look to buy it. And so normally it will sometimes hold or chop around, but if we get a move higher, then once it starts pulling back, people are like, okay, now this group of people that were looking to buy is now really interested because it's now a pullback, right? If something's been heading straight up, there's usually not a ton of buyers. But once it starts pulling back a little bit, that's when this group of people gets interested. Sometimes this group that was looking to sell, that now backed off here, right, as it started breaking highs, now might have even jumped into the buying camp, right? They're like, oh, maybe it's time to go the other way, right? And especially if the fundamentals support it and everything, then obviously there's more people that are willing to buy. And then we get another move higher, and then it breaks this high. Now, even more people are jumping out of the selling camp into the buying camp. And the people in the buying camp might be even buying more. And so right now we have this shift, right? Think of it as sort of like ants, right? You had red ants and black ants. The red ants were sellers. You know, slowly they start going over to the black ant group because now it's heading higher. And normally people like going with trends, right? At least if you're somewhat smart-ish, something keeps hitting higher, you don't keep selling it, right? That would just be pretty stupid. So once it breaks this high, more people come in, and so oftentimes the pullbacks will be shorter. When a trend is in the beginning to middle stages, the pullbacks will be shorter because there's a lot more people that are willing to buy. New trend, new everything. Highs are just being broken. Look for pullbacks. Buy, right? And so there's a sort of frenzy, and that's what makes this trend, right? We had a pullback here. Lots of people rushing to buy. Lots of people coming in rushing to buy. And then we get a nice move higher. Boom. People made money, right? The buyers made money. Naturally, there's going to be some people selling to take profits, right? So a lot of these people are now going to be taking profits. And so in the middle to later stages of a trend, normally, since a lot of people cashed out already, they're good, it will pull back further, right? As we see, it pulled back, didn't break this low quite yet. I mean, obviously, eventually it probably will, but it didn't yet. And so that gives some of these buyers, but then a new group of buyers maybe, who wanted to hop in but didn't have an opportunity. Now that we have this steep pullback, maybe there's some confluence, maybe there's a trend line, maybe there's not confluence, doesn't matter. It's pulled back quite heavily, then that's the real test, right? Because is this group of buyers and maybe potentially new buyers going to be strong enough to push price higher? Right? Because there's already been buyers that have made money, and that's the thing. That's why when a trend goes on for a while, it's less likely to keep going because people have made money, taken profits, and now they're less reluctant, right? Think about it. If, let's say you bought Bitcoin at $3,000 and you bought a few, you ended up making $100,000, $200,000 once it got to $60,000, whatever. And then you cashed out, right? And this is the equivalent of cashing out on your buys. And then let's say it pulls back to 50,000. You're going to be very hesitant to put your money back in at 50,000, right? Because you made a ton of money. You don't want to lose it all trying to push your luck, right? And so that's exactly why usually there's less buyers towards the later stages. People take profits. They're like, I don't know. So normally people also wait for a deeper correction as the trend moves on because it's considered safer, right? So this all makes sense logically, but sometimes it's hard to correlate when you're just looking at candles and you don't really get into the psychology of what's going on. Anyways, and so that's pretty much it for the trend. Let's say buyers do come in, hold it, and then eventually though they will again take profits on, and then it will head lower. Now, what shifts psychology from this buyer's market to seller's market? Same thing that shifted it from a seller's market to a buyer's market. When it comes down and then it breaks, breaks this support, right? Now all of a sudden, same thing happens in reverse. The people that were buying are way less reluctant or willing, to buy it. Oh shoot, it just broke a low. I thought I wanted to buy it, but looks like my time to buy it was before. I'm out. I'm tapping out. This market is it's not for buyers, right? And then the people who are waiting to sell for whatever reason, now's my chance. The trend is breaking, now is my chance. And so you see that, again, group of black ants, or the buyers, those red ants start selling, and then some of those black ants, they're hesitant to jump in with longs, and some of them shift over to the red ant side and start selling. And so we see that happen again. And so what happens, we see a lot of group selling and it heads lower. So hope this helped. I hope you have a sort of a different perspective now of looking at charts and just seeing how these things actually play out in a psychological standpoint with instead of, again, just looking at charts. It went up, went down, broke a low, it's going to retest, and then there's a different way of looking at charts, and sometimes they can give you different perspectives of what's going on in the market. So if it helped, hit that like button down below. Also hit that like button if you want to see more videos. Just gives me an idea of that you guys actually enjoy watching the content, enjoy learning, and want to see more. So with that being said, I'll see you guys hopefully not too long from now, and have a great day.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I